Hello, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Magic. I don't know if that's the title of this. It has some title. I think we should think of the title. We love to have these conversations every Thursday with you guys and just engage with the magic, engage with the elementals, and talk about all the things that you're really curious about. I am going to open up my Facebook on my phone because I can't always see who's talking. If you haven't allowed StreamYard to have access to your Facebook or something, then I don't actually get to see who is talking. It just says Facebook user. Hi, Twyla. And I really like these weekly lives to be engaging. So I want to hear from you. Hi, Alicia. I want to know what's going on in your world. I want to talk. I want to ask questions together. Like little hello emoji. So we had no questions come in this week, and that's okay. And if you guys are joining us and something's popping and you want to talk about it, please put it in the thread. But what was popping for me this morning was big magic, big ideas. Hello. Hi. So what do I mean by that? Have you ever gotten a really big idea, or maybe someone has shared with you a really big idea and you wanted to jump into that moving capacity or that connecting capacity? And what shows up for you when a big idea comes? Do you feel more enlivened? Do you get really excited, enthusiastic? Notice what that is for you. For some of us, this occurs all the time. For others, it might be something that comes along every 10 years. What is that? What are those kind of big ideas that are so big you get a sense that it's as though you have to become a bigger magic to actualize them? Hi, everyone joining. Hello, Leonie. Hi, Maruna. Hello. So nice to see you guys. We're talking about some big magic here. So I was always like a dreamer. I was always a big idea person. So as a kid, I would have these like fantastical, huge ideas. Oh, I love that you guys are saying hello to each other. You're so amazing. What an awesome crew. Okay, so big dreamer, big ideas. And it's interesting because a lot of big idea people that I talk to come up with or up against, you could say, kind of the let's be realistic people, the how are you going to do it people, the tell me what's your business plan, what's your plan people. Well, that can be the term buzzkill. If you don't know the term buzzkill, it matches it perfectly. But really, it brings down the high of the idea and when I say high, it's that expansion into being something greater. It's that liveliness and that life that comes into your body and into your living that these big ideas can gift to you. Hi, Violet Fairy. Oh, I love that. Oh, Joanne, I'm doing really good. Thank you. I hope you are well as well. Business plan for magic. Yeah, exactly. How do you plan out magic? You can't. Okay, so these big ideas. How many of you have stopped creating or stopped having belief in or knowing of the possibilities of these big ideas because you didn't know the how, you couldn't come up with a plan, or someone that was asking you to be realistic or be of this reality killed your buzz? So I'm going to do the clearing statement here today, and the clearing statement is a tool of access consciousness. It's like a magic set of words that just clears out energy. So as we talk today with each other, we're going to bring up energies and we're going to clear them out with this magic statement. Anyone can use it. You don't have to understand it. You could use it today if it's the first time ever hearing it. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com to get more information on that if you would like. So here we go. So everything that is, everywhere that's occurred in your life, everywhere you've allowed that to stop you, will you now destroy and integrate that, please? Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So then what do? We go for the smaller ideas, the realistic ideas, and the ideas that are sensible, right? So when you have that kind of sensible living, you have those that you create your life, your career, you create your world based on these sensible ideas, then how much possibility of magic are you cutting off? Yep. Everything that is, we just training creative, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pocket pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Thank you for putting in theclearingstatement.com in there. Hi, Jude. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Okay, so this morning, I was jumped. Like I was like just going about just getting ready. I just did on my other page, I just did a Facebook Live called The Greatest Show. And I was like getting all ready for it. And right before, sometimes like with The Greatest Show, I like to play the song from The Greatest Showman. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It is so full of big ideas. It is so full of possibility. And actually, this is a great segue. Thank you, universe, for that. The whole concept is this man that has this big idea. Like he has multiple big ideas and they start to come together. And it's rags to riches story, of course, but he starts out with so many people. He had his core belief system, which was awesome. He had his support from his family, his kids, and there was a lot of no's. And there was a lot of, you can't do this. And you can't do this at this time because, here's the thing, people don't have money or whatever. So all the lies and the limitations of this reality, especially right now that you guys are aware of, what if those don't apply to your big ideas? And everywhere you're applying this reality to your big ideas, will you destroy it and create it? Whew, right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so he achieves these grandiose things, never have been done before things. And a lot of people, if they've never seen it before, they can't conceptualize that it's possible. If you can be like, hey, and I've learned this because I'm a big idea person that works for other companies and other people. And I've had to I give them a big idea. It's so grand, they can't fathom it. And it's so grand that they don't have the belief that they can achieve it, actualize it. Then they think it's impossible. Because if they can't do it, most people don't believe anyone can do it. So everywhere you bought that you couldn't actualize your big dreams as if by magic because the people that you told or the people around you or the people connected to you wouldn't be able to. Will you just train and create all that? Awesome. Right and wrong, good and bad, black and bad, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so The Greatest Show. So it's a musical too. There's amazing songs. I love them all. And I play the opening song and I usually while I'm getting ready right before I go Facebook Live, I'm playing that song and I'm singing at the top of my lungs. And this is when this big idea came into my world. It was like whoosh. And as it came into my world, came into my awareness, and I started to engage with the possibilities and this creation, this entity, if you will, speaking with it and allowing it to come in, my space of being started to grow. It started to get bigger. And what I acknowledge is that these really big ideas require you to be as big as you are. They require the bigness of the magic that you are. So how often do we not actualize the big dreams because we know it would require big magic and we're not either willing to be that magical or we have these limitations we put in place to suppress or limit our magic. And then you buy that you aren't magic. Everything that is times again. So will you just rate it, grade it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So what if these big ideas actually find you during those moments where you're ready to step into a bigger space of being magic? And would you acknowledge that? It's almost as though would these creations even speak to you if you weren't capable of actualizing them? Or would they find someone else that was? So everywhere you haven't claimed, owned, and acknowledged wow, it is actually the acknowledgement of consciousness, the acknowledgement of these ideas in the magic of you when they come whispering, knocking, tickling, teasing in your world. Will you just train and create that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, and then all the dreams that you went for that had a sense of bigness but didn't either pan out or didn't actualize in the way that you thought it would, and everything you decided about that, locked in about that, concluded about that, will you just train and create that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So I'm going to reference The Greatest Show again. There's one of the songs, and it's called A Million Dreams, and a million dreams is all it takes. Now, for me, As If by Magic, the company As If by Magic, and having live As If by Magic classes, for me, took a million dreams. And for someone else, that might be like, oh, that's really easy, and that wouldn't have been a big deal. But I had a lot of things that I had to clear out, a lot of limitations that I had to destroy and uncreate. There was a lot in my world, and I remember being at the first live class. I was in Portland, Oregon, with some really amazing people, and I was getting ready so we do an intro class the night before, and then the next day we do like a full day, and the next day we do a full day. So I remember getting ready for the first full day, and this song starts playing in my world. And I'm like, wow, it only took a million dreams to get here. And sorry, I'm making dinging noises. That just stopped. It only took a million dreams to get here. And I could dream a million dreams in a moment. And it was this huge acknowledgement of something that from where I was when I first got the sense of it, it was a big idea, and it required big magic. And there was moments where I didn't know if I was going to be able to actualize it for all sorts of reasons. You know, our mind is brilliant at showing us all the reasons that won't work, or all the people that are against us, or all the things that are going to stick us, right? And actualizing that, and then after that, I was a bigger magic. And I've been looking lately, and maybe you guys have too, and I wonder, have you been looking at your life right now and being like, what is bigger than this? What is bigger right now that we could be choosing that would only take a million dreams? What is that? Wow. It is so easy to get caught up in the cog of what's going on in the world, what's going on for other people. And when you're caught up in the cog and you're maintaining and you're being in that motion, you aren't creating a different reality. You are nurturing this reality, and which there's nothing wrong with that. But you might come to this place where you have a sense of stagnation. You have a sense of like, okay, like I've watered this garden enough. Like what else? What else? What is the big dream? Where's the big magic? Like something so big that to actualize it, you have to become bigger. So anything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge those big magical dreams, those big ideas, whatever those are, acknowledge when they come to you. Be grateful for their acknowledgement of you and your capacities. And then what if you chose them? What if you actually chose them? And what if you're willing to have your reality in that choice, no matter what anyone says? I actually just had a very amazing conversation with a good friend of mine, and he had this big idea. And he was like, oh, this is good. This is going to be so easy. This is going to generate a lot of money with a lot of ease. And it's going to be this massive contribution that contributes to me and my business, but also has this contribution over here and this contribution over here. And so he went like, who would support me on this? And made a list of everyone in his life that he got would, of course, support him with this big idea. And every single one of them was a no. Most of them said, I don't get it. And it's actually very simple, but it was so grand that they couldn't get it. And that there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't make them wrong. It's that it was too big for them to perceive. And that's why the idea didn't come to them. So he got a lot of no's, but he didn't give up because he was having his reality. So I'd love to invite you all to have your reality. So you have this big idea, this big, grand and glorious idea, and it came to you, and you're aware of the big magic that you have to step into, and you allow it. And it's actually an allowing, stepping into being more magic. We think like that means I have to, does that mean I have to like take this giant leap across like a gap, like, and hope I don't splat in the crevice down below. We think it's like this big thing to step into being more magic. It's like this step, this effort. It's actually allowance. It's actually just allowing yourself to be a bigger magic. It's whatever that holding space that you have here of how much magic you allow yourself to be. You just have to allow yourself to be more. It's not that you have to like do something to be that more, because you already are that more, or you wouldn't have perceived it. It's just allowing yourself to be big enough, to be the big enough magic to actualize the bigger dreams, the bigger ideas, the bigger creations. And so in that, and then would you be willing to have your reality with it, and to have your back and have that idea's back? So you might knock on 15, 20 doors, and you might get a lot of no's, you might get a lot of judgment, a lot of projection and rejection, and it doesn't mean anything about you and your idea. It actually only has to do with their limitations. So you get to play with question here. You get to ask, who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to go? How do I present this information? What is possible? And sometimes, yes, futurists, those of you that are massive futurists, your dream might not be actualizable for 10 to 15 years or more. And that's okay. That's okay. What if that was okay? Hi, Julie. Knock, knock, knock. We're talking about big dreams. I'm glad you're here because you're a big dreamer. And I love it. Big ideas, big magic. So if you can ask, is this for now? Is this for later? You have that big idea, and you engage with it and play with it and feed it and receive from it and have this activation of delicious contribution. And then you can go, cool, is this for now? Is this for later? When is this? And be in that conversation. Maybe, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, always talks about having for those of you that have a lot of ideas, have a book that you write everything down in. Write down your ideas and then let it tell you, is this for now or is this for later? Tell me when. And you will. I've had this with stories. So I'm a writer. I love writing, and I'll start to write and then it will just stop. And I'm like, I get, wow, this is as far as I could go for now. So you can do this with your ideas. Like maybe you start to write some stuff down, you start to plan, you start to have conversations with people, and then there's a stop. Well, you can try to force it into existence. I've done that. It has never worked out very well for me. Maybe it works out for you, but not for me. Fight, force, those things. And when they have come to fruition, they're never as grand as I knew it could be. So you might have that energy of stop, and you could ask the question, oh, is this as far as I could go right now? If you get light, that's what's true for you. Always have a sense of lightness. Okay, cool. Don't kill it. Don't reject it or go, okay, fine. What if you just go, okay, creation, tell me when. And allow yourself to still be in that engagement and in that contribution with it. Because it came to you for contribution. It came to you for what you uniquely have. There are possibilities available that can only come through you. And if you are willing to know that and receive that about you, and then that acknowledgement of you, then those possibilities, they're looking for you to actualize them. And that doesn't have to come from force, because what we know with as if by magic, and we talk about things showing up as if by magic, there is no fight, there is no force. And that's one of the things I love about magic, because it can show up with that ease. And what if all of your big ideas, your big dreams, these big possibilities could show up with ease, with joy, with glory? So everywhere you bought that, if it's because it's something so big, it would take such big effort or such big energy or such big strain or stress or whatever that is, would you be willing to just strain and create that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What if it could show up as if by magic? And part of that magic is having that energetic conversation. Okay, now? Okay, let's go. Okay, now this is as far as we can go now. Okay, cool. I'm gonna let you go over here and marinate. That's how I like to look at this. I used to go, okay, not now. And I used to go to separation. I used to be like, well, I can't sit here and feed you energy, because if you're not now, then I need to keep going. But you can be in that space of like, when people that, I don't eat meat, but people eat meat, they marinate it. I like to marinate my tofu. And so when you let something marinate, it's sitting in its sauces or whatever it is, and it's absorbing, and it's so you can allow, I allow my writing to marinate. I allow my creations and my ideas. Do you need some time to marinate right now? And give it that space, but you are still being with it, and you still have a contribution. Now, contribution is gifting and receiving at the same time, right? So that doesn't mean you have all of these things and you're feeding. That's not contribution, because in there you're not receiving. And it might actually require your receiving to actualize, to to come to fruition, to ripen, to be ready. So where are you? Where could you more receive these big ideas, this big magic, this big possibility? And if you knew that something was going to require 10 years of marination, but it was going to be the actualization of the exquisite, phenomenal future that you've been asking for, wouldn't you be willing to have it on your counter marinating? I would. And what if it doesn't take effort and it doesn't take strain to allow contribution, to invite contribution, to activate contribution with your big ideas? And ask it, show me when. Show me when. And then you might go, and then you might hit another place of like, oh, we need to do some marination now. We need to have a little time. And so what if you truly were willing to claim, own, and acknowledge your capacities to actualize every possibility that comes whispering to you? And it's about choosing which of these possibilities is grand enough, delicious enough, exciting enough, magical enough for you. So just because a possibility comes to you does not mean you have to actualize it. In fact, there's some where I go, oh, you know what? I would like to send you to this person, and I'll send ideas to people all the time. Sometimes I will actually message them, and sometimes I just energetically send it. This is for someone else. But when you have when you come into that congruence, that delicious, like, oh, wow, this possibility matches my asks. This possibility is going to be a massive contribution to the world, to consciousness, to my life, to my living. Then what if you committed to being with them, whatever that looked like, whatever that took, and allow it to shape itself and evolve into something? So for example, I've had some ideas where I got the sense like, oh, this is it. And the first interaction with it, it looked very much like this kind of energy. Let's say it was a maybe it's a book. Okay. Oh yeah. And it's a book and and I have this. So even in that space, as I'm doing that engagement and I'm hearing the words and maybe I'm getting the characters, and then suddenly as I start to play with it, it will evolve out of a book and maybe it becomes a web series. So another thing to keep in your awareness is where are you defining these ideas, and then you go into forcing them into actualization on the initial interaction. But when you interact with your ideas, the ideas evolve, and so do you. So you have to allow it to mutate, to evolve into something different, and have no form and structure about it. And in every interaction, you are being that malleable invitation to greater possibility, and it is being that with you. And so as you change and you evolve, it will change and it will evolve, and vice versa. And then you get to come into this play, and if you have no definition of how it's going to show up, you just know that this energy is big enough for you, and you are choosing it, and you're going to actualize it, and you have totally and truly acknowledged and claimed that you can do it no matter what anyone says, then it can show up in the most interesting, surprising, and magical ways. And what if that was actually more fun for you and more true and real for you than having a plan, having a linearity, having a form and a structure, and an expectation? So Julie says, oh, wow, where could we more receive big ideas as if by magic? Yes. And Jennifer says, oh, hi, thanks for being in my head today. I've had some big asks and they're showing up as if by magic. Adore you. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so that's my invitation today, is to invite more of that, and also acknowledge these ideas that are probably already talking to you. And they might be coming through someone else, and they might be just, when you're singing really loud, doing your hair in the morning. And if all it took was a million dreams, if all it took was allowing that allowing that big magic of you, then would you choose it? Hi, Suzette. Thanks for joining us. We're just kind of wrapping up at the end, unless anyone has any comments or questions regarding this. This was a really beautiful space to be in together. And I'm perceiving a lot of beyond this reality possibilities whispering to you all. And however that looks for you, whether it's, maybe you write them down, maybe you have conversations with people that are big creators too, and it just gets all exciting and fun, and whatever that is for you. I invite you to that today. And just imagine, okay? So just imagine a world full of wizards, which I know that it's true. There's a world full of wizards, and imagine all of these wizards actualizing all of these glorious, gorgeous ideas all around the world, ideas that are so far beyond this reality. What would the world be like? Even in 6 months, what would the world be like? In 1 year, what would the world be like? It'd be so different. Would you be one of those wizards? Please. Because I would love to engage with whatever you're bringing into the world. A lot of thank yous. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And Julie says, from where could we receive the big ideas as if by magic? And your favorite question. Aww. Sparks. Thank you for the sparks of beyond. Aw, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And we will see you next Thursday here talking about something else, but magic. And if you do have any questions, please send them in or just show up and ask your questions when you get here. And if not, I'm sure as if by magic we'll have something to say, or I will. So thank you. Thank you very much. Bye for now, guys.